If you've seen my other videos on programming your Blendtec Connoisseur 825 or Stealth blenders, you'll already know that there are 42 pre-programmed cycles to choose from already on the machine. So why would you choose to create your own custom blend cycles? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you my top 4 reasons why customizing your settings will take your blended drinks menu to the next level, and then show you step by step how to do it. Every second counts. The aim of the game here is to minimize the amount of time your drink spends on the blender. Say for example you're a smoothie bar and you make 100 smoothies per day. Now each drink you make is just slightly over blended and spends 3 seconds longer on the blender than it actually needs to. 3 seconds multiplied by 100 drinks is 300 seconds or 5 minutes per day, where the blender is running, your staff are waiting, and more importantly, your customers are waiting. Change the menu. Now, you don't need me to tell you that keeping your drinks menu on trend is key to gaining new customers whilst keeping your existing customers interested and coming back for more of your delicious drinks. You might change your menu with the seasons, or you might switch it up more regularly, say with a monthly special. Either way, you can take your Blendtec blender on that journey with you and update the settings just as regularly as you update your menu board. Name your drinks. One of the fun advantages of custom programming is that you can name the blend cycle whatever you like. This makes it really easy for your staff to know which button to press for which drink, as the name will actually appear on the screen of the blender. Another nice touch is that you can actually change the home screen message from Blendtec or multi-purpose to the name of your cafe, or whatever you like for that matter. Protect your motor. Naturally, if you cut down on blend times and use an appropriate blend cycle, you'll reduce overall wear and tear to your motor and equipment, and it will keep cooler for longer, especially important on those really hot days. So whether you're an independent cafe or a big high street chain, hopefully now you can see some of the advantages of custom programming. So let's just dive straight in and I'll show you how to do it. The first thing you'll need to do is go to my.blendtec.com. And from here you can create an account, so fill in the form to get set up with your own login. Once you're in, you can select your blender model, and as you can see here we have either the Stealth or Connoisseur models. If you have a space saver, then you should select Connoisseur. On the next page you can see we have the 4 built-in profiles: multi-purpose, smoothie, coffee and milkshake. To create a brand new profile from scratch, we need to select one of these and then click on Clone Selected Profile. Give your new profile a name and then click on Confirm. Then we'll use this clone profile as our base for building our new profile. So click on your clone profile and then select View Edit Profile. On this screen you have on the left hand side numbers 1 to 6. These represent the buttons on your blender's touchpad. In this case, button 6 on the Connoisseur is actually the pulse button. On the right hand side here you have Blendtec cycles, which are the 42 pre-programmed cycles already on your blender, custom cycles, which are all the cycles you have created, and pulse cycles. Pulse cycles are where you press and hold the button on your blender for manual control. These are really good for food preparation. Going back to Blendtec cycles, you can scroll through and take a look at all 42 cycles here. I'm going to set button 1 to salsa, so I'm going to select button 1 and then click salsa. We'll also have button 2 as large ice cappuccino, and button 3 as large milkshake 1. I'll also disable buttons 4 and 5 because I don't need to use those in my pretend cafe. And the pulse button, I'm going to leave it as it is. If I want to edit these cycles in greater detail, we need to go back and click on the cycle we want to adjust. Let's edit large ice cappuccino as an example. So highlight that and then click on Edit Selected Cycle. This brings us to a new screen where we can make adjustments to the speed of the blender and the length of time it blends for. Now this vertical axis here represents the motor speed, and as you can see there are 10 speeds to choose from, which are speeds 1 to 9, and then you've got a half speed here. And these are all represented by coloured bars, as you can see up here. The horizontal axis represents time in seconds. In the bottom right corner here you can see the entire cycle duration. I can hover the mouse pointer to the top right of each coloured bar and I'll see this little double arrow appear. If I click and hold, I can then drag the bar up and down to adjust the speed, or left and right to adjust the time. At the bottom of the page there's another button to add a step. Now this creates a new bar which you can then adjust to your liking. To remove a bar you can click on the small X that each bar has to remove it. Once you've finished, give your cycle a name and then click on Confirm. This takes us back to the home page, and if we click on Custom Cycles we can find our newly created cycle here. Once finished I can click Save and then Download Profile. The next screen gives you the exact steps on how to get your new settings onto your Blender, so give that a read, but in short you just click on Download. This downloads a .bpf file which can be read by the Blender. So you need to transfer this file onto a USB flash drive and then we need to upload it to the Blender itself. If the default settings on your Blender are very close to what you're after, then we can just make some minor adjustments. Let's imagine we're using the multi-purpose profile on our Blender already. In this scenario we're going to imagine that we use button 4 for most of our drinks, but we just need to take a couple of seconds off. Highlight Medium Smoothie 4 and then Edit Selected Cycle. Here we can see that this cycle is made up of 3 speeds and the total cycle duration is 25 seconds. We want to reduce that to 22 seconds. Take some time off of the slow portion of the cycle, or we can take time off of the fast portion of the cycle, or a combination of both. Either way we've shaved off 3 seconds. Let's give it a new name and then we can just download this profile as before. Once my new profile has been moved onto my USB flash drive, you'll need to upload it to the Blender. To do so, you'll need to locate the USB port. On the Space Saver and the Connoisseur, the USB port can be found on the underside of the motor. For the Stealth Blender, you'll need a small Phillips screwdriver to access this port. Turn on the Blender and insert the USB flash drive. With the Space Saver and Connoisseur models in menu mode, button 1 is to scroll through the options, button 5 is to confirm a choice, and if you make a mistake the pulse button takes you back a step. With this in mind, when you put the USB flash drive in, USB flash drive will appear as a message on the screen. Press button 1. You can scroll through the different options here. In this case I'm going to import profile. Press button 5 to confirm that. You should now see the file name of your custom profile on the screen of the Blender, so confirm the choice with button 5. You're then prompted to confirm if you would like to import this as your active profile. Button 5 to confirm that choice. And now you can see our custom profile has been uploaded to the Blender. Turn the Blender off and remove the USB flash drive to finish. Finally, I want to share some tips based on my own experience with custom programming. The first one is to crush slow and then blend fast. You might be tempted to ramp the motor speed all the way up to maximum, thinking that this will result in a quicker blending time. But this is often incorrect because doing so will just throw the ingredients up and onto the walls of the jar, and then the blades can be spinning so quickly that the ingredients are just bouncing around inside the jar. The aim is to have all of your ingredients in the jar hit the blades as many times as possible in the shortest amount of time. So start by crushing slow and then blending fast. Avoid cavitation. When the ingredients refreeze around the blades, they can form an air pocket. You'll see that the blades are still spinning, but nothing is actually blending. This is a common issue with all blenders and is actually called cavitation. To solve this, you need to use or create a cycle with a variable speed, slow, fast, and so on. This keeps the ingredients moving inside the jar and prevents them from refreezing. This is especially an issue with dairy-based drinks, so watch out for that. If you're blending in the traditional Blendtec jar system, then getting to speed 7 is the sweet spot for finishing the blend. I personally avoid going any faster than that. Speed 9 in particular is so fast that it begins to heat the drink up through friction, which is really only good for soups or items which are then later going to be cooled. If you're using the Blendtec Nitro blender and are blending in the cup that you're then going to serve to the customer, then I would avoid going any higher than speed 4 or 5, which is more than enough to get the job done. Thanks so much for watching this video. Good luck, and let me know how you get on with your custom programming.